Hey guys, it's Katie. I just wanted to share this video to give you some ideas about freezer meals that I've made this time around. I learned a few lessons with our first child, and things are a little bit different this time, but I really think it's important to kind of stock away some good healthy food or things at least that you enjoy eating. It goes a long way when you're like sleep deprived and possibly dealing with stressful situations, to have food that you like eating that's going to make you feel good and feel more functional. I think it really is a good investment in time if you've got the time before the baby comes. Like I said, with the second baby, things are different. We have to accommodate some of the foods that Alice will eat, and I've also picked some recipes that use a lot more, well, I call it meat, but I guess basically just chicken, trying to accommodate other people's taste because we're going to have visitors later on. Before Alice was born, my mother-in-law came, and one of the things that she wanted to do to really help contribute and help us prepare for the baby was to put a bunch of stuff in our freezer. That was awesome. She stocked away my husband's favorite spaghetti sauce and a bunch of soups and just a whole bunch of meals for us. And then my mom was here after Alice was born and continued to help making meals, especially with Alice in the NICU. Mike and I would just come home at the end of the day totally exhausted and starving, and she would make something for us. I did also stash away some freezer meals, but definitely not as many. The pressure wasn't on the way it is this time. This time we're not having any of that kind of help, so it's all on me. My main considerations this time, besides the amount of time I had, and also Alice's sort of just toddler pickiness, were cost and space. So we just have a very small freezer. I had to focus on things that I could put in Ziploc bags and freeze flat and then stack to kind of make the most of the small space that we have. If you had like a chest freezer or a bigger freezer, you could really, make things easier on yourself. You could make like big pans of lasagna and enchiladas and stuff like that. That's the complete meal. But I really had to kind of focus on things that were veggie-based or protein-based that we can pair with a grain or a vegetable on the day of, just something that's quicker and easier to cook with it. Making things ahead and avoiding eating out and avoiding the convenience foods, I know it's going to save us money in the long run. It did drive my grocery bills up a little bit in the past few months, just as I've been making stuff ahead of time, but I know we'll kind of recoup that savings pretty soon here. So I tried to make at least 2 weeks worth of meals. I know we're going to be filling in with little easy things as we need to. We're going to have breakfast for dinner, we're going to have grilled cheese, just things like that. But my goal was to just try to get us off to a healthy little bit of a head start, just to have it a decent meal available for every day for about the first 2 weeks. So here's what I made. I used mainly 2 cookbooks, and then I also used Pinterest a lot. This says more, I believe, that's what's under there. More, make it fast, cook it slow. And this one is Not Your Mother's Make Ahead and Freeze Cookbook. So I used both of these for ideas and recipes. Some of the recipes were just already in my recipe box, but if there is a recipe I can link you to or direct you to one of these cookbooks, I will do that in the description box. So here's what I've got. These are individual little portions of oatmeal for Alice. We make oatmeal on the weekends, and I like to freeze just little portions that I can defrost in the fridge, and she can just grab whenever she wants them. This is a whole stack of waffles separated by wax paper. Another thing we make in big batches on the weekends and then freeze for your little snacks. I also mixed up, this is not a frozen item, but just all of the dry ingredients for our waffle mix with the instructions for what else we still have to add, so that'll be easy to make a new batch. I try to just label everything with the date and then put on, if it's already cooked and just needs to be reheated, or if something is raw and needs to actually be cooked. So we have veggie burgers, Italian meatballs, this is pulled chicken, this is eggplant parmesan quinoa, sort of casserole. We've got 2 soups, tomato basil, and this corn and red pepper. This is a big batch of honey Dijon chicken that is a slow cooker meal, so it's not cooked yet. So my plan for when I go into labor is to take these 2 portions of chickpea curry out of the freezer and into the fridge, and then when we get close to needing them, I will have somebody, be it one of the midwives or Mike or whoever, throw them into the crock pot and warm them up, and it should be enough for all of us. And then to go with that, I have the instructions on how to make couscous right on the couscous jar. So I'll just make sure everybody knows where that is. And that should take care of the first like big postpartum meal for everybody. It'll be something healthy, high protein. These are pizza dough that are obviously not rolled out yet. 2 portions of that, and then some cheese. And then I have some sort of ingredients for other things. Veggie broth, a little one and a big one because sometimes you only need a little bit. Some pumpkin puree, some green chili, some rhubarb, some apples that are prepped for like an apple crisp or a pie or bread or something like that. This is shortbread cookie dough. I have a video about my shortbread cookies. These are no-bake sort of pumpkin oatmeal cookies that Alice loves. Well, we all love them. So those are really easy to just grab one, even from a frozen state. And then this is like a sort of lemon loaf, sort of dessert bread. One of the smartest ideas I've had this time, I think, is that this is the front of our freezer. I've just made a list of everything that I've put away in the freezer, and as we use stuff up, I'll cross it off. I didn't keep any sort of inventory last time, and when you're hormonal and sleep deprived, you know, postpartum, your mind's not always the sharpest. So I wasn't always on top of what we had left or, you know, what our options were. So I think just having a visual to refer to will help. So that's everything. Hopefully it will make our lives a little bit easier in, you know, the coming weeks. If you have a favorite freezer recipe, something I could pretty easily and quickly whip up to add to my stash there, I'd love to hear about it. And hopefully I will see you very soon with our new baby.